This is for the author's background. Acquainted with the Night by Robert Frost. I've been unacquainted with the night. I've walked out in rain and back in rain. I've outwalked the further city light. I've looked down the southern city lane. I've passed by the watchman on speed and dropped my eyes, unwilling to explain. I stood still and stopped the sound of feet. When far away an interrupted cry came over houses from another street, but not to call me back or say goodbye, and further, still at unearthly height, one illuminate clock against the sky proclaimed the time was neither wrong nor right. I've been one acquainted with the night. Uh, Line number one, I've been acquainted with the night. It is a metaphor. Night in this context means depression. Night or depression cannot harm the author before he gets acquainted with it. Line number one, I've been one acquainted with the night, which is personification. A human cannot be acquainted with the night. It is a human nature to get acquainted with someone. And line number three, I've outwalked the furthest city light, which is hyperbole. It is unlikely for the author to walk the furthest city light. Line number four, I've looked down the side city lane, which is metaphor. The sadness city lanes mean a phase in the author's life where he feels sad the most. And line number five, I've passed by the watchman on his beat, which is a metaphor. Here watchman could mean many things. It could be people all the way to religion. The author chooses to avoid them all. Line number eight, when far away an interrupted cry, which is a metaphor. And cry in here means a person is expressing an opinion or reaction to the author. Sorry, just there. And then number 10, line number 10, but not to call me back or say goodbye, which is metaphor. The cry line 8 does not cry to the author to say goodbye or call the author to come back to the city. And line number 12, one luminary clock against the sky, which is a metaphor, where clock here means the moon. And number 12 to 13, one luminary clock against the sky, proclaiming the time was neither wrong nor right. It is personification, and the moon or clock proclaiming the time is simply human nature. They cannot do it. And last, number 13, proclaim the time was neither right nor wrong. Metaphor, the author realized that his happiness and sadness won't be noticed by anyone else, thus wrong or right. Extrinsic element, this poem, the author talks about his mood having depression at one point of his life. The poem begins and ends with the line, I have been one acquainted with the night. And in between, the author uses imagery to tell how it feels to be lonely. And now no one seems to notice. It is most often read as the author's admission of having experienced depression and a vivid description of what the experience is like. The night is the depression itself. The writer is stuck in loneliness and is not ready to break it. And now this is about work settings. Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter twisted lies. You may trot me in the red dirt, but still like dust I'll rise. Does my sadness upset you? Why are you beside the gloom? Because I walk like I got oil wells pumping in my living room, just like the moons and like suns. But the certainty of tides is like hopes springing high. Still, I rise. You want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? As I laugh like a gold mice digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like me, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame I'll rise. Out from a past that's rooted in rain and pain I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hopeless slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. And line number 1 and 2. You may write me down in history with your method twisted lies, which is a metaphor. The writer refers to the racism that white people do. You write down history with lies. Line number 4, but still like dust I'll rise, which is simile. Although the writer is trod to dirt, she will rise to the oppressors like dust. Line number 6, why are you beset with gloom? Metaphor. The writer is just rhetorically asking why her oppressor is gloomy. Line number 7 to 8, because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Which is simile. The writer is confident, like she has oil wells pumping in their living room. Number 9, just like moons and like suns. Simile. The writer is full of hope, like the fixed sun and moon rising. Line number 11, just like hope's spring high, which is simile. The writer feels hopeful. Number 15, shoulders falling down like teardrops. Simile, the oppressors here want to see the writer falling down. 19 to 20, because I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. Simile, the writer's self-esteem is so much that she can laugh like she has a gold mine in her backyard. 21 to line 21 to 23. You may shoot me with your words, may cut me with your eyes, may kill me with your hatefulness, which is a metaphor. The speaker refers to violence that the oppressor have. And they spew the hateful words, cut her with their eyes, and kill her metaphorically. And number 24. But still, like air, I'll rise. Similarly, the writer is like air that's freely moving around anywhere. 27 to 28. I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs. Similarly, the writer refers to spiritual wealth, which is like diamonds. Line number 29. Out of the huts of history sham. Alliteration, and it is huts of history. Out of the huts of history shame metaphor, the writer refers to the history of Black people, and she will go out and show their oppressions that she can rise. Line number 21, offer a past that's rooted in pain. Metaphor, the writer refers to the past where the Blacks are enslaved and now they're free. Line number 33 and 34, a black ocean leaping wide, welling and swelling are buried in the tide. Metaphor, the writer refers herself as a force of nature, unstoppable, leaping and wide. Line number 34, welling and swelling are buried in the tide, which is alliteration. So it is welling and swelling. Line number 35, leaving behind nights of terror and fear. The writer refers to the Black's past and how she chooses to make a name for herself. Line number 37, into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. Metaphor, again, she chooses to walk like the day is clear. Line number 39, bringing the gift that my ancestors gave. This metaphor, the writer wants to do what her ancestors cannot do. Extrinsic elements. In this poem, Maya Angelou reveals how she will overcome anything through her determination. It shows how nothing can get her down. Although slavery had been long abolished, Angelou saw its effects on society and the African American people. The poem is her declaration that she, for one, would not allow the hatefulness of society to determine her own success. It is not only a declaration of determination to rise above society, this is also a call to others to rise up. And this is the critical perspective. The Chimney Sweeper by William Blake. When my mother died, I was very young, and my father told me, while yet my tongue could scarcely cry, weep, 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 weep. So the chimneys are sheep and the soup asleep. There's little Tom Decker, a crowd on his head that curled like a lamb's back was shaved. So I said, hush, Tom, never mind it, for when your head's bare, you know that soup cannot spoil your white hair. Okay, sorry. And so he was quiet, and that very night, as Tom was sleeping, he had such a sight. That thousand of sleepers, Dick, Joe, Ned, and Jack, were all of them locked up in coffins of black. And by came an angel who had a bright key, and he opened the coffins and let me set them all free. And down green plain leaping, laughing they run, and wash in the river and shine in the sun. Then naked and white, all the bracks left behind, they rise up on the clouds and sport in the wind. And the angel told Tom, and if it be a good boy, it have God for his father, and everyone joy. And so Tom woke, and we rose in dark, and got with our bags and brushes to work. Though the morning was cold, Tom was happy and warm. So if all do duty, if all do their duty, they need not fear harm. Line number 3. Oh, sorry. Okay, line number 3. Could scarcely cry, weep, weep, weep. Alliteration and the reason is weep, weep, weep. And number 4. So chimneys asleep and then suit asleep, which is alliteration, which is chimneys asleep and in suit asleep. And number 6, that curled like a lamb's back was shaved, so I said, symbolism. And here, lamb is used to symbolize the innocence of childhood. Line number 6, that curled like a lamb's back was shaved, so I said, which is similarly, the writer compares Tom's hair with a sheep's wool. It was cut. And so Tom woke and we rose in the dark. Metaphor. The writer compares dark to the miserable life of the children of the chimney sweeper. And on number 18, then down the green plain, leaping, laughing, they run. Symbolism. Green plain is used to symbolize freedom and prosperity. William Blake, extrinsic element. William Blake criticizes where slavery was still a strong culture in the middle of the community, while trapped in poverty. Exploitation of children is rampant. Slavery at the time was not only dominated by black slave or Negro people, but has started to spread to the white citizens. And finally, this is my poem by Life Goes On by Mark Imanuel. I was in my room with a phone in my hand, but like a static sun, it was an inevitable plan. I wake up the following morning as my legs and hands frozen. I thought there was nothing. What a donkey I am. In the middle of the night, it was when the moon smiles. I fell to a ghastly night, thinking I had a disease smile. I woke up to IV bags, thinking the world collapsed. God, why have you done this to me? The stroke that has taken my collapse. But life will go on and on, whether I like it or not. Like a spanner on his poem, life will go on and not stop.